Lake Lewis covers the Skins. Redskins Wire down there in D.C., USA Today. I know we are a little tight on time. We will punch him up. How you doing, pal?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I apologize with all the noise out here at practice. As soon as I go on with you, the trucks come by.
What are you on the D train? Where are you?
All of a sudden, the guys, we have like this little strip over here. We're all doing our interviews.
All right. I won't.
He's gone now. He's gone now.
Yeah, tell him you're doing a spot. All right, listen, we know. I think this is a big game for both teams, respectively. I'm not going to say must win, but I think it could be a tone setter. We were talking a little bit about it, and some of the callers actually were insinuating, hey, the Eagles should go in, and I believe this, with the mindset is try to run the ball early, try to test that run defense of Washington, which last year they had to make a lot of moves in the offseason. Let me ask you this. Yeah. How do you think their run defense is going to fare this year overall, and do you think they're going to get tested early against the Eagles on Sunday?
I think the question is yes to all your questions. I do. I think the Eagles are definitely going to try to run LeGarrette Blount a little bit more, and you're going to see a little mixture of Sproles, and hell, I wouldn't even be surprised. I think they have the kid Pumphrey. So I just think the Eagles are a team that needs to come in here and set a tone for their season and their new look. And what better way to do it than to establish the trenches? If you're the Redskins, though, you've got to come out and prove that you can stop the run, because they were terrible last year at it. And they've kind of addressed those needs along the defensive line.
Yep.
You obviously drafted Jonathan Allen from Alabama. They brought in Stacey McGee from Oakland, who's actually shown that he can be a pretty good versatile player on the line. And then Terrell McClain from Dallas has come in, and he started off slow, but I got to tell you guys, towards the end of the preseason, you started to see him, show some flashes of what he's capable of doing. Ziggy Hood's kind of the mainstay in the middle, and he's in there now because Phil Taylor was the guy that probably was going to start at nose tackle this year, but he's out for the year with the leg injury. So I think if you're the Redskins, you also have a linebacker in Zach Brown, who's a tackle machine. I think they feel better, but we're going to find out Sunday, can they stop the run?
Listen, I mean, we know Kirk Cousins has had some pretty big games in his career against the Philadelphia Eagles, and they typically have their number down there. Listen, you look at the loss of Garcon and Jackson. When the tight end's healthy, he's a player. I know they just gave that contract extension to Thompson. They want to utilize him a little more on third downs as kind of a scat back, a receiver out of the backfield, if you will. They bring in Pryor. What would be the expectations of this offense? Do they take a step back, or is it going to be at times as explosive as last year with Garcon and Jackson?
Well, Q, that's a great question. And I keep trying to let fans understand, the last 2 years, this was a top 5 offense with no running game, by the way. So we're talking about, let's just call it what it is, a top 3 passing attack in the league. That's the numbers that were put up. And I think this year they understand that they're going to have to run the ball more. They just have to. You can't expect for Cousins to be throwing for nearly 5,000 yards a season. That's just not good football for them. They're going to have to run the football. I will say this, though. Terrell Pryor, he's got a lot of ability. He's going to have to put it together. I haven't seen a whole lot of it, in my personal opinion, to warrant us thinking he's a number 1 receiver. But I'm going to tell you right now, and I want everybody listening to make sure they write this down, Josh Doctson is an absolute stud. And he's every bit a number 1 draft pick. There's nobody out here that can stay with him, that can cover him. And I don't mean because he's running a 4-2. He's just one of those receivers that is just always open. It's always catching the football, that whatever his own deficiencies are, you don't see him because he's just a smart player. So, and again, I apologize.
That's okay. How's that hamstring though? How's his hamstring?
He's fine. He's been practicing for a while.
Okay.
He's fine. I just think that, like him and Junior Gillette, guys that had some of these hamstring injuries, there were more tweaks than anything else. And, it's preseason. And
sure,
when you're a team like the Redskins that need these guys on Sundays more than a lot of other teams because maybe your depth isn't there, you need those guys ready on Sunday. So right now, from my injury report, scouting report, there's no one that's not going to be able to play on Sunday.
Yeah,
they should have everyone out there.
And remember, too, the Eagles, they brought in a lot of different players offensively, but defensively, you look in the secondary, that's an area that I'm not really particularly sold at right away. I think it's going to take a couple games for them to get acclimated. So, again, from a skin standpoint, you think maybe they exploit it. And, Cousins. See, I think Cousins, where if you keep him in the pocket, then he can have a field day at times, especially if you can't get any type of semblance of a pass rush. Now, where he's prone to mistakes is flush him out of the pocket and when he starts to overthink and improvise. And we saw that last year against the Giants to close the season, right? To close out the regular season.
Oh, absolutely. And I will say this, the Eagles, that's one of the reasons why they have the kid Barnett. He's a guy that's looked impressive. And I think that they're hoping that he puts some kind of pass rush on Cousins. But at the end of the day, I mean, the Redskins have had great success against the Eagles over the past few years. I understand there's been different coaches up there. It's in there. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That's PR director Tony Wiley. So they had success against the Eagles, Q, and then on top of that, it's a division game. It's a home game. I think the Redskins have to win this more than the Eagles do. Just to start their season off in the right fashion and show people that they can still be a prolific offense, that they're not as bad as a lot of pundits think they will be. And if you're the Eagles, listen, I think the Eagles play this whole season with house money. I mean, they're a young football team that's got a lot of pieces, but they have to put it all together. And, sometimes it just doesn't happen overnight. So, the Eagles, to me, will be a better team than what they were last year. Some people have them being a dark horse team to get into the playoffs. I think that might be a little bit of a stretch, but I definitely don't think that come November, early December, I don't think they'll be playing for nothing. I think they clearly will be playing to get into the playoffs, but I don't know if they get there, though.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, listen, I know we're tight on time. Enjoy it on Sunday. Football season in full gear. We'll get you on every week. We'll have a little more extended time. So stay away. I was going to say, get somewhere where there's not a lot of noise, but everyone keeps texting in today. It's a gorgeous day out there. I had to prop open the window and the blinds to look outside and get a little sunlight.
No, this is
enjoy it.
We've had the past few days.
Oh, I know.
I'm going to accept this.
I know.
All the planes going overhead.
All right, enjoy it, my friend. Be safe, be sound, enjoy it on Sunday. We'll talk next week, pal. Always appreciate it.
Okay, take care.
All right, you got it.